All right, we are here with Walt Garrison, my friend and site director for outside mission teams for the Henderson campus. We're just going to ask him some questions about mission teams, mission team leadership, and just in general. So, number one, margin. We've been talking a lot about margin at One Life Church, just how we can create it on our teams and in the life of leaders. You are involved in a lot of teams. Drummer, band at East. You're site director for teams in outside mission teams in Henderson. Run an orchard. Full-time father, full-time employee at J.E. Shekel. How do you create margin in your life in order to do all these things?
The number one thing that I have found, no matter what I'm doing, is that I've got to have a good team around me. I have to be able to figure out how to do things and then teach other people how to do those things. Otherwise, I'm never going to have time to do those things. So having that team around me allows me to make sure that all of those things are done, but it allows me to have time to have my hand in a lot of different things, but making sure that they're all done well.
Yeah. And so you recently and you kind of modeled that with your team outside mission team has multiplied recently, but you set that up on the front end. It wasn't a perfect multiplication. Multiplications are never fun or easy, but how did you go about that? Can you tell us that kind of story of multiplication, and what are some words of wisdom you can impart to teams that might be looking to multiply?
Well, the way it happened with us was we had a couple in our group had been saying for a while that they wanted to start a new team with the same mission. We just needed the space. Our team requires that you have probably a smaller number of people, because a lot of the things that we talk about are very personal, and it's just easier to do that stuff with a smaller team. So what we did was we said, this new couple is going to go out and start a new team, and we let everybody in the group know about it, and we pretty much just split down the middle. Half of us went one way and half went the other. The one thing that I would say about anybody that's going to multiply is you've got to communicate. Over-communicate. That was the one thing I wish we had done differently, is that making sure that everybody on the team, not just the team leader, but everybody on the team knows well in advance.
Yeah. And what is your guys' outside mission team, the mission statement?
Our mission statement is helping people far from God experience Jesus by supporting families through strengthening marriages.
So we were talking about that in our site director meeting, just getting an update on your own team and Henderson campus in general. And you said something really neat about when you multiplied, how your goals kind of shaped the direction of your group. Can you kind of share with that and expound on that a little bit?
The two teams are going to keep the same mission statement. However, each new team is going to go about fulfilling that mission a little bit differently. One of the things we've done in the past is have marriage events that we called Married Life, where we had speakers come in and talk about different aspects of marriage. Another thing that we would like to do more of is counsel couples that might be having marriage problems. So what's going to happen now is that one of the groups is going to spearhead the events, and the other group, while they're still going to help with the events, is really going to focus more on individuals.
Wow, that's neat. So what are some examples? Have you worked on the goals yet, like the specific ones?
For the new team, one of our goals has been to bring in 2 or 3 new people, because we're also trying to grow the group and bring more people into the mission. But we're planning on having an event. We'd like to do an event, I think, at least once a year, maybe once a semester. But the other part is that we would probably like to have at least some members of our team do some formal training in marriage counseling.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So so you've multiplied, you're out, you're operating, you have been just recently, because it did a little break for the summer, but you're going to be asking the church, basically, you guys as other team leaders, to let you know about people that might have marriage issues that could use some counseling or just some support, or even, who knows. So one of the things that we want to encourage is you guys as leaders just being aware that mission is even out there, that mission statement is there, so that you guys know that that's a resource that you can tap into. Maybe you don't feel equipped to deal with a marriage that's struggling within your specific mission team. Now you know Walt, you've heard his mission statement, some of the things that they're going to be doing. You can go talk to him about contacting them. So
right, yeah. And I know that's something that we've tried to do, that we're putting more emphasis on, not just with our team, but with every team. We want to make sure that every team's mission statement is well known by other team leaders, so that you can plug people in where they need to be plugged in.
Yeah. Okay, so kind of last question for you. We had an end of the church calendar year celebration last June for all. Well, there were life groups then, life group leaders, mission team leaders at Henderson. Well, at each campus, but at Henderson, and our old site director Cynthia Nunn was transitioning, and you were stepping in your role, and I just wanted you to share a little bit with why you were passionate about stepping into this role, what excited you about it, and I loved your answer, so I was just hoping to share it with all leaders of mission teams throughout the network. So,
well, the number one reason that we're at One Life to begin with is because this is the most mission-focused organization I've ever been part of, church or otherwise. And I love that we are focused on what our goal is. What I see as the best way that we as a church can get to that goal is to get people on teams and to get them on their specific mission, finding they're made for this, putting them on a path to do what it is God has planned for them. It's just really exciting for me to be in a position to help facilitate that.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, well, thank you, Walt. Any parting comments, words of wisdom, advice to leaders? If you got imagine that they're all just enthralled watching you, what would you say to them?
The number one thing is always communication.
Yes, it is. All right, thanks, Walt.
Thanks.